Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal 2 and today we will cover what did you do last week grammar. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazana Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Salih Al-Ajan. So let's begin. Our objectives in today's lesson, we hope that at the end of this lesson you will be able to use simple past tense and determine regular and irregular verbs and use past tense time expressions. Before we do this, let's make quick revision on our last lesson. Last lesson we had listen and discuss, where we have listened to four different friends, or each one of them talks about the things that he likes to do. For example, when Umar said that we had a great time on Saturday, we went to a friend's house and play video games and watch a car race and went to the zoo. And also Ahmed talked about the things that he did in the past, where he said that I presented my project and also I played football and I bought a new smartphone. Also Said when he said that I went to the museum and also I drove to the beach with my brothers. And Imad when he said I stayed home and I studied for my test, and also I spent some time searching for information on the internet. So we have listened to four friends talking about the things that they did in the past, and also we have read how many activities that each one of them did do in the past. And also in pair work we have learned how can we make questions about what kind of things that people usually do in the past, where I said that you can have a look at the previous listening that we did when we listened to Umar, Imad and Ahmed and Said, and I said try to make a question about the activities that each one of them did do. And for example, we said, did Said go to school on Thursday? Did Imad stay home on Saturday? So we had a couple of examples like this. And also when I said that if you want to ask similar question about yourself, you can have similar questions like this. Did you have a test yesterday when you interview someone? Or what did you do yesterday afternoon? So these are the two questions that people usually use when they ask about the activities that has been done in the past. So now, for our lesson today, I would like you please to open your books on page 66. I would like you please to open your books on page 66. Now, on this page, as you can see, here we're going to talk about the simple past tense. And what do you mean by the simple past tense? It means that the verbs or the actions that we did in the past with this verb. So we don't have to add anything new. We only just try to convert the verb into the simple past tense. So let's see here an example and see what do we mean by the simple past tense. So we will have a regular sentence like this. I worked yesterday. I worked yesterday. He worked yesterday. They worked yesterday. So this sentence about something that has been done yesterday. So this sentence is used in the past. So when we are using a sentence in the past, no matter what the subject is, whether we use I, you, he or she, or we use we or they, no matter what the subject is, we have a form of the verb in the past, which is we add ed to the verb. We add ed to the verb. So when we see a verb like this, we know immediately that this tense or this sentence talking about something in the past and not today. So we can also add what we call a time expression. We can add a time expression to the sentence just to indicate more that this sentence happened or happened in the past. Like for example, yesterday. Yesterday. So we can use a verb in the past like worked, And also we can use a time expression like yesterday. I worked yesterday. I worked yesterday. So this is how can we talk about things happened in the past. And also this is of course for the affirmative sentences that has no negative. But what about the sentences in negative? So as I said again, no matter what the subject is, I, you, he or she, we or they. Here in this case we use did not. So here didn't, this is the short form of did not. So we use didn't, and after this we use the verb as it is. Here we don't have to change the verb, or we don't have to add ed to the verb, because we already used an auxiliary verb, which is did, which is in the past. So we don't have to make two verbs in the past. Only one is enough. So I did not or didn't work, and also we can add the time expression yesterday. I didn't work yesterday. So here, as you can see, so here this is the past, or this is the auxiliary verb in the past, and here is the regular verb. We don't have to change it because we already have did. And also here we add a time expression. I didn't work yesterday. So again, we use the simple past tense to talk about things that happened in the past. For example, what we need to do with the verb, we only add ed to the verb. As you can see here, the verb is work, and we added to it ed just to indicate that this happened in the past. So this is in regard of sentences. If we're talking about questions and how can we make questions in the past, we usually use it with only one auxiliary verb, which is in this case did. So we use did no matter what the subject is, whether we use I, he, she, you, we, they, no matter what the subject is. We start with did, and we add to it the subject pronoun, and then the verb, which is work in this case, and then the time expression yesterday. So again, as I said, whether in a sentence or in question, when we have an auxiliary verb that is written in the past, which is in this case did, we don't have to change the verb or the main verb. We don't have to change it into the past. We can use it as the regular form of this verb. So, did he work yesterday? Did he work yesterday? And let's see how can we answer such question. If the answer was started with yes, we would say yes, he did. Yes, he did. Or the answer is with no, we would say no, he didn't. No, he didn't, or no, he did not. So, this is how can we make sentences in the simple past tense, and also how can we make questions in the simple past tense. So we only change the verb with ed. We add ed to the verb, and then it's immediately changed into the past. So for example, let me ask you this. Did you watch TV yesterday? And if you want to answer such question, you have two options. Either you would say, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. So I'm going to ask you again. Did you watch TV yesterday? Very good. Let me ask you another question. Did your friends visit you yesterday? Did your friends visit you yesterday? And here you have only two options. Either you would say, yes, they did, or no, they didn't. So I'm going to ask you again. Did your friends visit you yesterday? Very good answer. So this is how can you, and notice that since here we use the subject you, then the subject we're going to use in the answer is I. And here when we're talking about a group of people, a plural, not one, we use the subject they. So this is how can you make question in the past. And also, here when we're talking about the regular verbs, or how can we change the verb into the past. So we have two forms of verbs. The first form is we add ed to most of the verb. Most of them we add ed to them. For example, work, we add to it ed, and the verb will be worked. Worked. or we can say walked or wanted. So we, as of the most verbs we use, we only add ed to it, and then we can use it in the past tense. As of the verbs that ending in e, we only add d, like for example live. So here we don't have to write another e and d. No, in this case we only add d. So live plus d will be lived. I lived. I lived outside of my city, for example. And for verbs that ending in consonant plus the verb y, we change it to ied. For example, if we have a verb that ends with y, like we can see here, study, we change the y into I, and then we add ed, as we have did with these two verbs. So study will be studied, studied. So this is very important because here we're talking about the regular past tense verbs. So here we're talking about regular verbs that are following one rule. And that rule is that you should add ed to the verb. You add ed to the verb just if you want to talk about something in the past and not in the present. We have another form of this verb, and this form we call it irregular past tense verbs. And what do you mean by irregular? That has no system, that has no form. Each verb has its own form. Each verb has its own shape. So you can see many of these verbs in English have irregular past tense forms, and you can see a large list of these irregular verbs on page 83. So I would recommend that after this class you open your books on page 83 and find the list of these irregular verbs. Let me read you some of these examples. So for example, here we have the verb buy. The past of the verb buy is bought. This is irregular. And also come, the past tense is came. Do, the past tense is did. And also drink, the past tense is drank. And drive, drove. Eat, ate. Get up, got up. Give, gave. Go, went. Have, had. Read, read. See, saw. Sleep, slept. Swim, swam. Take, took. So as you can see, and the list continues. So it's not only these verbs. So as you can see here we have verb in the present or in the regular form. And if we want to use it in the past, then we have to change it to almost another verb. And you also can see that some of the verb is the same writing, the same letters, but the pronunciation differs. For example, in the verb read. So as you can see, they both have the same form, no changes at all, but the only change is in how do we pronounce it. For example, in the present we would say read, but in the past we would say read, read. I read a book yesterday. So this is the difference in similar verbs. So not only this, not only the verbs, but also we can use a time expressions just to indicate that the sentence happened in the past. For example, time expressions for the past, like when we say yesterday, last night, last week, last month. So we usually use these time expressions when we are talking about something happened in the past. For example, what did you do last night? I went out. What did you do last night? So here we have questions in the past. We're using did and also the time expression last night. And how can you answer such questions? By only using the past form of a verb. In this case, it will be I went out. So this is how can we make questions. These are the forms of regular and irregular verbs in the past. So now, let's try to answer a couple of questions about the past tense. So it was, imagine this scenario. It was a very cold last weekend, and there was snow. Which activities do you think Steve did, and which activities didn't he do? Use the list of things, add your own ideas. So what I would like you to do now is to have a look at these activities or list of activities and talk about them. And of course, you're going to use the past tense when you're talking about these activities. For example, this is an example. He went skiing. He didn't go swimming. He went skiing. He didn't go swimming. So just you should mention something happened and something didn't happen in the past. So let's see or review this list of activities. So for example, here we have the first activity: do the laundry, read a book, take a walk, talk on the phone, watch TV, drink hot chocolate, work outside in the garden, go to the football game, eat a snack, and go to the mall. So here we have list of activities. So let's try to take each activity alone and try to write a sentence about it. So we'll begin with the first one, the first activity, which is go to the laundry. We can say, he did the laundry. He did the laundry. Or if we want to use it in the negative form, we can say, he didn't do the laundry. He didn't do the laundry. The other activity we have, which is take a walk. He took a walk. He took a walk. So here we change take to the past, which is took. Or in the negative form, we can say, he didn't take a walk. He didn't take a walk. Let's see other activities. He went to the mall. He went to the mall. Or in negative form, we can say, he didn't go to the mall. He didn't go to the football game. He didn't go to the football game. Or we can say, he went to the football game. Other activities. He read a book. He read a book. Or he didn't read a book. He didn't read a book. Notice how can I pronounce the verb read in the past and in the present. He watched TV. He watched TV. He didn't watch TV. He didn't watch TV. And also, he didn't work outside in the garden. He didn't work outside in the garden. Or we can say, he worked outside in the garden. Next, he talked on the phone. He talked on the phone. Or he didn't talk on the phone. And the last thing we have for this exercise, he ate a snack. He ate a snack. Or he didn't eat a snack. He didn't eat a snack. He drank hot chocolate. He drank hot chocolate. Or he didn't drink hot chocolate. He didn't drink hot chocolate. So these are the activities, and we use these activities and we change them in the past to answer this question. Now I would like you please to turn on page 67 as we have the last exercise for our lesson today. In this exercise, I would like you to choose a partner, maybe a family member or a friend of yours, and ask and answer about what people did in this picture. So for example, you can see in this picture, a picture of a beach, and the subject you're going to use is you, and the completion will be on vacation. So you can make questions similar to this. What did you do on your vacation? What did you do on your vacation? So this is a question about something happened in the past. And you should answer using a verb in the past. For example, I went to the beach. I went to the beach. Now let's try to answer this. So here, the first picture we have is a TV, and we have Badr and his brothers and last night, a time expression. So you can have a similar question like this. What did Badr and his brothers do last night? What did Badr and his brothers do last night? They watched television or TV. They watched television. So here we use the past tense of the verb watch. The other one, here we have number 2. Here we have a picture of a museum, your family, and last weekend. So you can have similar question like this. What did your family do last weekend? What did your family do last weekend? And you'll have similar answer to this. We or they went to the museum. We or they went to the museum. And as you notice here, we used went in the past. Also, here we have a picture of a tennis, and we have the boys and last Thursday, a time expression. So you can have similar question to this. What did the boys do last Thursday? What did the boys do last Thursday? They played tennis. They played tennis. So, here is also another example. Here we have a picture of a library. So, last night we can have a question like this. What did Saud do last night? What did Saud do last night? He went to the library, or we can say he read. Either we say he went to the library or he read. And also, number 5, Keith and his family in the summer. And here we have a picture of a cruise. We can have similar question to this. What did Keith and his family do in the summer? We can say they went on a cruise or they went to an island. We can say they went on a cruise or they went to an island. So the last thing here we have Huda before dinner. We can have a similar question to this. What did Huda do before dinner? She did her homework. She did her homework. So this is how can we make questions and also answers about things happened in the past. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.